Oh my God, am I excited to be back right now, okay? I'm still a little sick. My voice is still struggling. And this is the longest video I have ever had in my entire life of this channel. It's only been a few videos. That's not a huge accomplishment, but just know it's long. So I probably won't talk through the entire thing, but I'm gonna do my best to explain to you exactly what happened in this, okay? I could have done 2 parts, but it felt wrong. But let me know if you would have enjoyed this in 2 parts instead, so it'd be easier to watch. Just tell me, and maybe next time I can change my process a little bit. But I thought 1 part made the most sense because I just find it rare that you're going to come back for a second one. I mean, you're not going to watch 53 minutes straight of a video anyways, but what are you going to do? This is a modernized, renovated Tudor home that I built in Wittenberg, which, by the way, I had not built in Wittenberg when I did this build, and oh my goodness, is this world absolutely stunning. Also, I struggled with the roofing because I'm not a great roofer. The angles were all off at that back section. No matter what I did, those roofs would not align perfectly, and it made me sad. But we hit it well enough that I feel like it works. This build is near and dear to my heart for many reasons. But the main reason is, it is a collaboration with my 5-year-old daughter. And I know that sounds a little strange, right? A collab with your 5-year-old? Yes. I looked at my daughter and I said, hey, tell me what I should build. She's like, yes, I will tell you exactly what you should build. And she listed off every single room that needed to be on every single floor, what the family was like, what the backyard needed to look like, all of the above. I got to pick the style of the home, and I built this twice, actually. The first time I built the exterior and the floor plan, I'd gotten maybe halfway through furnishing it and I hated it. So I started over, and the outcome of this build is so freaking pretty. I cannot explain to you how gorgeous it is. I don't know what's happening in this section here, but we just paused for a hot second. Maybe that's why it's so damn long. I'm making a little beautiful chimney right now. So enjoy that. But anyways, I decided a little Tudor style would be adorable, but I didn't want like your classic Tudor. I wanted it to be like a modern Tudor. So that, my friends, is what I did. I ended up picking like a white and light gray colored scheme, and then I went inside the home and I made it a renovated style. So that also was a decision I had to make, a game time decision, if you will. I also struggled with the floor plan a little bit to get exactly what I wanted, but it ended up turning out, I think, beautifully, and I really enjoyed it. So the first floor needed to have the living room, a dining room, a bathroom, and a kitchen. I also added a hallway and an entryway because that's what I needed to make the build work for me. And then upstairs it needed to have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. One of the bathrooms was an ensuite for the parents, and one of the bathrooms had to be a Jack and Jill bathroom for the kids. So I had to go between their bedrooms and obviously connect them like a standard Jack and Jill. I know I'm preaching to the choir. You guys probably know what a Jack and Jill bathroom is, but I'm still going to over-explain it because I have no self-control. And then there had to be a 3rd floor, which was like an attic, but it was a craft room. I was told specifically, craft room. So that's what we did. We created a craft room up on the 3rd floor. I used a ladder to get up there so it felt more attic-y. And then I decorated it to feel like an attic and to also include some artistic activities. She also required that I have a bathroom in the attic. So there is a bathroom up there. I tried to make it look like a bathroom, like an old school bathroom, like maybe it was up there many, many years ago. They haven't updated it. It's just kind of like random stuff kind of plumbed in, you know? Have you ever seen one like that? Because that's what I was picturing. And I also really, really, really wanted to have this like partially outdoor, partially indoor dining space, which is what I'm creating right there. And I end up taking columns and spandrel and making that feel like the entire space is kind of, for lack of a better term, open. I guess. I mean, it has like the second floor above it, so there's no open roof. I do end up using a ceiling fan though, which I thought was a cool addition in that space. It felt very realistic, like you would need the air to move around, you know, so it doesn't feel so stuffy. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I think I'm planning where I'm going to put all the furniture and just like thinking out loud, but you can't hear it because I turn off the volume, you know, of me talking to myself for a while. This build took me, I think, 8 hours to do. And that's why it's such a long speed build, because I had a lot of footage, like a lot of footage. And it was really difficult for me to kind of cut it down because I wanted to include everything for the sole fact that it involved my daughter so specifically. So like I said, that was all the floor plan requirements. And so then I went through and I was trying to do the build, and I wanted to kind of give the feeling, as I mentioned, that it would be like a renovated home. But I also wanted to give like a little quick ode to the existing. So I made sure that the entryway and the hallway kind of felt authentic. So they felt a little older. They were kind of, I guess, just like the family wanted to acknowledge the history of the building, maybe. Maybe the building was, you know, a couple hundred years old or something, and they wanted people to know that its roots. And although they renovated it, changed it up, and made it fit for their family, they wanted it to feel like it was old at the same time, if that makes sense. That's kind of where I was going with it. I also made sure I used some of the curved roofs. I did have an inspiration for the exterior of this build, and if I can find the photo on Pinterest still, I will put it on the screen, but I'm not guaranteeing anything, okay? And I also wanted it to kind of look like the third floor or the attic was like a secret attic. So from the front, you didn't know it was there, but from the back, have you ever seen those builds where like, well, I could have done this with terrain tools, but I'm not a master, so I don't like to mess with them that much, but where it looks like a 2-story building from the front. You go in the backyard though, but it's like a walkout basement, and the house is so tall. You look up at it and like awe of how the heck is this house so big. That's kind of what I wanted the back to feel like. I also had a clipping issue with that little itty bitty bit of the roof not getting the trim, and I couldn't fix it. So unfortunately it's going to stay that way because I liked the way I was doing it and I didn't want to mess around with it too much. But you know what? It's fine. I also really enjoy this paneling from the Get Together pack, which obviously is where Windenburg comes from. This is not a limited pack build. Actually, now that I say that, I feel like it was a limited pack build. I think it was limited. I think I only let myself use Snowy Escape, Cottage Living, Get Together, Base Game, Blooming Rooms, Dream Home Decorator. I know that doesn't sound limited, okay, but in comparison to using every pack, it felt slightly limited. And the family really likes Dream Home Decorator. Okay, there's a lot of Dream Home Decorator in here. And I must be honest, I use a lot of Dream Home Decorator in every build because Dream Home Decorator is amazing. And that's okay. Also, I know that upper window was in a weird spot. It was literally cut in half by like where the roof began and then the attic began, but I didn't care. Okay, we kept it because I liked the way it looked from the outside, and no one needs to know that it's in a bad spot from the outside. It's not like you're looking in that window, okay? The attic is essentially pretend. As a person who plays, I wouldn't mess around with an attic. That's just so much work. You know, like it's just so much work. It's just the taller the buildings get, the more difficult it is to play in them, I think, but that could just be me. So I try to use this like parquet flooring on the entry and the hallway because like I mentioned, I wanted it to feel like it was original. And then I used these really nice wide planked floors in all the common areas. And I also think that's pretty authentic, to be fair. Wide plank floors are very common in a lot of the older buildings that you will find in New England, which is where I am from. And it makes a house feel old based off of experience. I also liked this kind of like flagstone looking tile that I used, and I think I use it in the kitchen. If I don't, it might be the cottage or the country kitchen kit that I use instead, but I'm not confident. And I kind of just wanted the flooring downstairs to feel like it was original as well, but then when you go upstairs, everything is renovated. And I also had the idea of doing a custom shower, which is why I added Snowy Escape. So for a while, I wasn't using Snowy Escape in this limited pack build, but because I wanted this custom, beautiful shower, I had to. I had no choice. I don't have Discovery University, so the only shower, like standalone open shower that I have is from Snowy Escape, so I kind of had to do it, and I apologize for that because I know that that's frustrating, right? It was a limited pack with no Snowy Escape until I needed it, and then it became a limited pack with Snowy Escape. This cottage living wallpaper is what I use to make it feel like the authentic original wallpaper in the entry and hallway, like I had mentioned previously, and then everything else, I think for the most part, other than some of the stone throughout the dining room and the kitchen, is going to be like a white. I'm pretty sure. I do end up changing the wallpaper in the dining room. I know that for a fact, so whatever you see me put down right now is not going to stay. I will end up messing with it. And upstairs, I'll just describe this to you kind of briefly, but upstairs in the kids' rooms, I was informed by my child that I had to do a room for, say, a 6-year-old girl who really liked pink and unicorns. Let's just describe my child, why don't we, except she's 5. And then the boys' room, she wanted to be like a 9-year-old boy who was really into sports. Now, in order to give him activities, I made the 9-year-old little boy into sports and science. Like, he's really good and has awards and is super interested in it, but is also super athletic. So he does like the best of both worlds. Well-rounded kiddo, okay? Doing his best. Little girl, super girly. Loves all things girly. Loves to just play around and have fun. If you look at this flooring, so this is like that, it's base game floor, but it kind of looks like a subfloor. And the reason I love that for spaces that like an attic or like an unfinished space is because it looks unfinished. You can see like the nails. If you zoom in far enough, you can really see the nails in it. And I love it. That floor and then the wide plank flooring are probably my favorites in the game. I also included carpet in the kids' rooms because it just felt more realistic for this style of home. Yes, I understand they probably redid the floors, but the chances of them redoing nice wide plank wood floors in the kids' rooms was a little less common, at least from what I've seen in my experience as a New Englander. Being around homes like this, you're going to have carpet in the kids' room. It's very uncommon to have hardwood floors in your children's rooms or any of the bedrooms upstairs. I did it in the parents' room because I want the parents' room to feel like super extravagant and big and fun. So I did. However, it didn't feel relevant for the children. So this is the Dream Home Decorator modular furniture, and I put a bench under the hanging clothes section. I don't end up hanging anything there because I didn't want it to look like a closet. I wanted it to be where you hung like your coats or something. And the dresses and stuff are just too closety. So I didn't want to do that. But I did add shoes and some clutter on here just to make it feel like the kids and the parents have been using it and living in it. And then I also do put a little console table in the like nook of the stairs, as well as the gardening, what's it called? Shelf. That shelf right there from Cottage Living as the entryway shelf. And then I grabbed these like antique looking portraits or images. Like maybe this is what the house looked like back in 18 whatever, you know? And I know that sounds super specific, but I grew up in a town where there were literally homes with plaques on them saying they were from the 1700s because New England is just like that. There are homes that are from that long ago. And so it's not uncommon to see stuff like that in a house where or even like restaurants in New England, where they're showing like, this is what this particular street looked like back in 1764 when the town originated, and they have this like big photo of like what the street looked like, and you can see maybe 1 or 2 of the buildings have remained, but a lot of it's been like renovated or added onto or whatever. So I thought it'd be interesting to have a quick nod to some of that in the hallway and the entryway, since it was trying to be, or at least I was trying to make it look as if it was original to the house. So there's those like antique pictures on the wall that you just saw. I also put up some sort of plaque on the side wall, this one, but I put it on this yeah, adjacent wall right there. I'm not sure why. Awards of some kind. I'm not sure. I like the wood. It just kind of worked for me. And then in the hallway, I'm going to end up putting the portraits of the people. And I think also the like pub poster. Yeah. See that like cottage living pub thing? I put that in there, as well as the portraits, the antique looking images of people that we have in base game. I put those in the hallway as well. Maybe they were the original owners. Maybe they were some sort of important person that lived in the town and or this house at some point, whether it's a historic home or not. And the pub posters felt like it would be relevant to the location of maybe the town of Windenburg or something. Who knows? The fireplace, I wanted to do this white to match like the rest of the house, as in maybe at one point they redid the fireplace. They didn't replace it, but they took some white paint and stain and they just fixed it up, made it more modern for what they were going for. A lot of Dream Home Decorator in here, like almost everything is Dream Home Decorator. That rug is base game, but sofa and chairs and bench, all Dream Home Decorator. I do end up using this sectional or like modular sofa, and I think I have to fudge it a little bit. Yeah, you see that? So it's going to clip a hair, and that may be annoying to you, but to me, it truly doesn't bother me. But it was the only thing I could do, because if I didn't, it was going to make it so that it was hard. Did I leave it like that? I'd be surprised if I don't edit that later, but it's hard to, it looks like it'd be hard for Sims to walk through it. So I didn't want to make it an unusable space, because over by the fireplace, I have a like formal sitting area. And then in that same living room area on this other wall, I am about to put the modular like TV unit and everything to make it more of a sitting area, gaming area for the kids. So there's gonna be this big modular piece that houses the TV. And I also make like a custom bench looking thing using the modular pieces that go and kind of attach to the TV unit as well as the bookcases. And then I take a bench also from Dream Home Decorator and I put it, not that one, I use a different one, I think. And I raise it up a little bit, size it down, and I fit it in that area like perfectly. So it looks like you can sit there, you can't, but it felt really modern and nice and like good quality. I don't know. I was super into it. Disregard my sound of my text messages. Everything is fine. And then I also add, I don't think I end up adding a gaming unit because I wasn't using City Living in this limited pack build, but I do end up putting some shelves up here, either this or the modular pieces, to be completely honest with you. I don't really recall, but I do end up cluttering this up a lot. I add a sofa, a couple like side chairs that I kind of like turn a little bit to make it look like the kids kind of sat there and like turned the chair to like look at the TV better, and it's a little askew because I didn't put it back right or things like that. One thing I was really proud of myself for doing this build is remembering curtains. I never remember curtains in my build. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm like this. I struggle to remember to put curtains. Maybe because I've only ever lived in houses without like the curtains being a primary focus. So to have curtains is just like something I forget about. But I did try to keep this like green and white color scheme. I think I end up changing these back to white though, because it doesn't really match my like army green of the Dream Home Decorator sofa. But you can see that chair there is a little askew. I ended up switching that out for the Dream Home Decorator sofa that I tried to put originally near the fireplace. And I do add, I think, a plant and a lamp of some kind. And I just think this area feels very cozy, feels very family to me. And because the space was so large and there wasn't, maybe they knocked down a wall, but at one point there could have been a formal living and then a family room, but instead they opened it up. And then you have your more formal seating area by the fireplace where it would be and where the TV doesn't really fit. And then you have this cool little area back here for the fun, entertainment, excitement of the children and the family in general, whether they watch movies together, whether they just play some video games or whatever else. I just wanted it to feel kind of lived in and more realistic. I also tried to make it a little cluttery because, you know, it is a family of 4. At least in my head, it's a family of 4. You could easily add upstairs in the little girl's room. I used the loft bed with a dresser under it. You could easily put another bed under there and have it be a twins room. You could easily make bunk beds in the boys' room, all sorts of things. Worst case scenario, if you need another bedroom, you could honestly make another bedroom in the attic. It would be easy. So Obviously, toddlers just can't go up there, but what are you going to do? Just a disclaimer, both those chairs are the same colorway. I hate the lighting in this game. I'm just going to say it. The lighting in this game ruins my life sometimes because you look at those chairs, you're like, wow, they look so different. Like one's yellow and one's white. No, they're both white, but one just looks yellow. Drives me nuts. That is the OMSP shelf. You can get it as a CC item. However, I do take it out of the game, or out of the build before I upload it, so the builds do not come in as CC. So if you ever want to download my builds, there will be no CC in them, unless I explicitly tell you that there will be. I just use this shelf because it's amazing to help you with the move objects cheat, be able to put stuff on top of cabinets, shelves, dressers, fireplaces, things that otherwise your items aren't really snapping to. This allows you to put them up there and get them in the proper position that you want them to be in without having to snap or use the 9 key and have it float. It's just really nice. The only thing is it is a shelf, so it has to be against a wall. So if you are not going to put the item against a wall, it is a little bit more difficult. You can do it. It's just going to take some playing and, messing around to get it to look how you want in order to get it on top of, say, like a size down end table would be an example, or something like that. So if I had a little side table that I put next to a sofa and I sized it down, when you go to snap objects to it, it's going to float because you sized it down, but the game thinks it's still the same height. So it struggles. And so your items will just sit there like a couple inches above the table and make you feel like you're going absolutely insane and crazy. But instead, you're not. It's just the game doesn't register that you size down that particular table. So if you use the shelf, maybe you pull the table over to the wall, use the shelf at the right height, and then you pull the table back away, but the shelf's at the right height, and then you can move objects on it over. There's a lot of ways to get around it. It's just something to think about, that the OMSP shelf is a shelf. So you have to use it as a shelf against a wall in order for it to function. This is the dining room. I do end up changing the wallpaper. Like I said, I end up messing around with this room for a while. I also designed the whole kitchen as like an old school kitchen, as if they didn't renovate it, and it was like the only non-renovated room in the house. And then I saved the game, went off about my day, came back another day, and I hated it. So I changed it. So I end up changing the wallpaper in here. Most of the furniture stays, but not all of it. I do end up changing the plants in the corner to be the little plant stand from the Blooming Rooms kit, which you can see over there now. And then we cut because I'm redoing the kitchen. So I had done that entire kitchen, which you can see my little tea bag, the little tea stand, and the like olive oil bottles. They aren't really olive oil bottles, but you'll see them a lot in my builds because I like them to look like olive oil bottles. They're just debug items. Bottles of some kind. I think they're technically like quote unquote nectar, aka wine bottles, but the brown and the green look a lot like olive oil to me. So I do really like to put them both in there and size down one, so it kind of looks like, you're using them to cook. And then once again, I had issues with the shadows on the cabinets, and it made me so mad that I changed them to green because I was that mad about it. But we also have a tea maker, as well as this little item that's like decorative that makes it look like it's holding all your different flavors of tea. We have upgraded appliances. We have nice range hoods. We have a nice sink. We get lots of clutter. I put a little table in the middle to be like an island because there wasn't enough room for a real island. It's just a cutie pie room. I really enjoyed the kitchen once I redid it because I didn't love it originally. It was just not my thing. I'm not sure why. Also, I showed my daughter this build at the end, and she told me that I was the best builder ever and the best artist and designer, and I was very proud of myself. If you didn't know, I am an interior designer by trade. So I have a lot of experience designing places. I actually designed hotels for a while and then got laid off during the pandemic just due to, not a lot of people visiting hotels. So the hotel designers were not that much needed, So I do have a background in this. My daughter has seen me design a lot of stuff. She's gone to hotel openings with me where we get to tour hotels and see some of the work I've done. And so she definitely thinks that it's a really fun and cool job, and I don't think that she's wrong. I think the job is really fun and cool, and I really enjoy it. But it's just fun to show her that what I can create in The Sims and have her think that it's also just as beautiful and stunning as some of the things I've made in real life. So that's really fun. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I want to mention it again. You will see the little menu bar pop up time and time again because of my habit of hitting escape. Because that's what you do in Revit, which is the architectural program that I use for work. If you need to get out of a tool or stop using something, you hit escape like 3 times. In The Sims, if you hit escape more than once, it brings up the menu. And sometimes I do save when I bring up that menu. And sometimes I also try and edit it out, but I don't always. So you'll see it a lot. I accidentally do it all the time and make a fool of myself. But unfortunately, it's going to keep happening because my little fingers do what they want, and my muscle memory has made decisions that I, as a human, have not made myself. So there's that. We're going to end up doing, I think I ended up cutting out the bathroom in this floor, even though I do really like the bathroom in here. I had messed around with editing for a while on this one before I realized that like most of it, I had highlighted it all and said like 600% speed. And then for some reason, it tried to make them all equal lengths instead of equal like speed. So all the speeds were off, and I had already edited out the bathroom and some other things because I was like, wow, I can't possibly include all this. This video is so freaking long. But then once I fixed everything, yeah, it's still long. It's 53 minutes, but it was better than, it was like an hour and a half prior to this. So like just everything was not fine. So I fixed it. But I had already edited out the bathroom, and if I wanted to add it back in, I would have had to reload my whole entire OBS footage, which was like 3 hours long, and then I would have had to find it and edit it, and it was just, unfortunately, we lost the downstairs bathroom. You should see every other bathroom, Jack and Jill bathroom upstairs, parents' bathroom. I even think you see the bathroom in the attic, maybe, I'm not sure. So there's lots of bathrooms that you can witness. I really think the first floor bathroom's cute, but it was a goner, and it was not worth going back and finding because it wasn't a huge deal. So I'm decorating the hallway upstairs, which once again, trying to feel like it was a little bit more original to the house. It's not obviously like super original. Obviously the runner is something they added. The like contemporary mid-century looking console table is obviously new, but I just wanted it to feel a little bit more old. And then the parents' bedroom, I used a lot of Dream Home Decorator, and I made sure that I put a super cute little table and chairs in the bay window because I thought it was absolutely stunning and adorable. And I also have 2 different closets. I'm sorry, 1 big closet, modular closet from Dream Home Decorator, and 1 of the dressers that you just saw me place, which is like the husband's or the dad's dresser. And then the mom gets like this big wardrobe area over here. She also gets a mirror. She got to I'm so sorry, I just started her 4 times. She got to decorate the whole place, obviously with the pink bed. The side table is huge. I size it down, and then I go to place something on it and it didn't fit, and then I forget to use my OMSP shelf, so nothing ends up going on that table. So sorry. But it felt like a cute little area to like sit and read and look out the beautiful window, maybe see some beautiful, stunning views. Who's to say? But it's a great time in here, and I really enjoyed this room. It's like modern with like a touch of femininity, and I just thought it was adorable. So I enjoyed this build. I hope you enjoyed this build as well. You're going to see a lot more stuff. Ooh, before I stop, let me talk about some of the decisions I made outside before I stop talking, because my voice is starting to hurt because my poor body is still a little sick, and I've been talking for 28 minutes. So outside, I was told I needed to have a playground for the kids as well as a pool, and I think a garden. I think she told me I had to have a garden. I don't really remember though, to be completely honest with you. I added some gardening plots, but essentially I had to make a pool. And then I also, because I had that outdoor seating area, like with the arches, indoor, outdoor, I guess, little like dining area, which I don't think I showed me furnishing it. I think that might be more towards the end. But since I had that, I obviously had to continue a deck because I couldn't add stairs to the archways or else it like wouldn't work even with move objects on. So I had to create a more of a deck. So I do have a seating area out on the deck as well as a grill to have some like outdoor seating and ways to eat dinner as a family. And then the deck goes down onto like a patio area around the pool. There's some fences, a bunch of landscaping. I have a little birdhouse out back there. I do end up putting, I think, just monkey bars. I don't think I fit monkey bars and a swing. I think I did monkey bars and then like the little sandy area so you can actually play in the sand. At least I think I don't know if that's base game. I know it came with Island Living that you can play in the sand. I can't honestly remember if that's base game or not, nor have I really done that interaction a lot, so I'm not confident, but that's what my intent was. And then I add a few gardening plots on the side for, say, mom's like fun little garden that she does in her free time, and then a lot of landscaping. I wanted the landscaping to feel kind of overgrown and a little bit like too much, but also like perfectly manicured at the same time. Like they must have a landscaper come and perfect these bushes and the grass, and just everything is done to an extreme amount. This house is very expensive and I find it very beautiful and stunning. So to me, it would be like an upper middle class family potentially, and therefore they would have a landscaper, and that landscaper would be making a decent amount of money to make that house look absolutely stunningly perfect. And they're doing it, you know, they're just doing it. So that was kind of my thought process. There's a lot. There's also a bird bath out front. There's a beautiful little pathway, both directions leading to the front door, leading to the back. I use some rocks. I use some debug fences. We have some trees. We have, like I said, little bird feeders, some gardening plot. I feel like it was like a full family home. This would be a great house to play in if you are doing like a legacy challenge or something, or just if you had a big family that you wanted to play with. I feel like this house would be great because there are a lot of activities upstairs in the attic. There ends up being an easel. There ends up being a couple like gym equipment things that I kind of like angle and like push off to the side a little funny to make it look like they're just like up in the attic and no one's touched them. But in reality, your Sims can use them. There's also a woodworking table. However, when I put a bunch of like boxes next to the ladder, when I was editing this particular speed build and like the photos, I realized that I put stuff next to the ladder. So if you want your Sims to be able to access the attic, you will. I already uploaded this to the gallery. That's why I'm telling you this. I accidentally forgot to fix it. You will need to move the Cutie pie little boxes I put up there to make it look like an attic, because your Sims can't get in because I block it. So there's that. Anyways, this ends up being the son's room. It's going to have some decorations that are athletic-y, that are like sports related. It's going to have some science stuff, a science table, like I said, like an award ribbon, like he won the school science fair. It has like the solar planet? No. Solar system. There we go. Mobile. It's just, I felt like it was a super cute room. I was super into it. And I wanted to use this like corner nightstand because I felt like it didn't really make sense, but I liked it. So I kept it. Each kid has a desk, place to do homework. I put a laptop in the kids' room in this particular little boy's room because I didn't have a desk anywhere else or like an office space because I wasn't allowed to have one according to my child. So this is the only room that has a laptop, but at least there is one. Worst case scenario, you can move it downstairs onto like the dining room table or something so people can still use it in the whole family, or if you don't mind your Sims going into their son's room to play on the laptop. It's in there. But I'm going to go because it's been 32 minutes. I know there's still like 20 minutes left of this video, and I'm so sorry. I hope you like it though. I hope you found this build fun. I really enjoyed doing it because my daughter told me what to do and how to include it and like what to design for, the ages of the kids, and just gave like a whole backstory, which really helped me and motivated me. And it was just fun to show her at the end. She also wants me to do a cafe. Like a bookstore cafe is what she told me. And I'm debating, okay? I have two different thoughts, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. One thought is Pierre Sims came out with a like coffee shop CC kit. And as soon as I saw it, I thought this would be perfect for the build that my daughter wants me to do. A coffee shop with a cool like bookstore feel as well. Problem is it's CC, so like that's not the best to put on the channel. However, it would be beautiful and fun. My other thought is I could make it more like a base game build, maybe not just base game, but like base game and kits, and not use like big expansion packs because some people may not have get together, which is where you are able to do cafes. My thought was I could technically make it a library or a retail store. I guess both could work. But I was thinking a library where you can go and like read books and like hang out. And I could put a couple coffee makers in it and make it like a self-serve kind of cafe feel without having the expansion pack to make it a real cafe. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. But let me know what you think. Whether you want me just like go all out and do an actual cafe with unlimited packs or limited packs, whether you want me to use the CC that I'm talking about just because I thought of it and you think it'd be cute to watch me use CC for once, or if you think I should do that like base game / pack limited library that looks kind of like a coffee shop, you know what I mean? Let me know. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking because my voice hurts, and I hope you all enjoyed this. If you liked it, please like the video, please comment down below with any thoughts that you had. Ignore my phone going off again. It's actually my iPad. I can't silence it. I don't know. I do my best. Don't forget to subscribe to me. I feel like I have a lot of fun on here. I feel like I'm relatively good at building, and I'm like moderately okay at explaining myself. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, come back for more, watch me on your free time. I don't know. I feel like I'm a fun time sometimes. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just fibbing. But yeah, that's going to be the whole build. I hope you have a great rest of your day, week, month, or year. I hope I see you on my next build. I hope you give me any of your thoughts down below for builds you want me to do, things you want to see, anything. And I'm going to let you all go, and I hope you all have a fantastic time. And I hope I will see you on my next video. you.